Beaugrand with a 2:10, which is incredible pace, broke the record, and there she is in the middle, and Tim Don, she has picked up where she has left off.
Absolutely, she'll be leading from the front here. She talked about going quicker straight away. She's gapping the athletes. Clean water, she'll be looking at both of them. That is fantastic. Let's see what she turns in. 26 high. She is in fantastic shape, isn't she there?
Yeah, it's definitely, it's a fast pool. Yeah, I've swum it myself, and actually, you know, it's clean, it's crisp, and to get a good lead like that, the girls will be able to see her feet, and they'll look across the pool, and they just won't see her there. It's quite daunting at this early on.
She was too fast for the timing as well, with Matthias taking the top spot. In fact, it's Beaugrand who turned 26, and she might be able to turn at the 100 in under one. Well, she'll be a tick over 1 minute, but Beaugrand has been absolutely exceptional. I say she'll be a tick over 1 minute. She's going to turn under the one, and she is going to be on extreme form. Come down from a training camp, Tim, and looks to be very, very sharp.
She does, but then looking behind, the women are close to her. She's not gapped them as much as I thought. They're really going for it. You can see Olivia there is right there to her right. And I think they're closer than she would have wanted. So let's hope she hasn't gone out too hard, because that first 50 was exceptional.
I think they're actually
Beautiful
closing
turnout,
now.
the lovely style, one of the great swimmers in triathlon. And yeah, I think they might be closing. Definitely went out a little bit fast in the first 50, and Matthias 3 seconds back, Bragmeier 3 seconds, Potter 5 seconds. We've seen leads like this evaporate so quickly with just the smallest mistake or tardiness in transition. Transition is really where the Arena Games is won and lost. In fact, 75% of the winners of the Arena Games so far, and I think there's been just over 20 races, have been won by the fastest in transition. That's how important it is, and we're about to see it right now as Cassandra Beaugrand, first to come out onto the black carpet. Big cheer for the Frenchwoman. Hats and goggles into the box, and we go onto the bike for the first time.
Now this is the part that's very interesting. Beth Potter was quicker in transition, well, so if that goes to form, look at that. But Cassandra's had a good one. She's got those pedals turning as quickly as possible. She's up to speed, her feet aren't tightened. She'll be focusing on that screen. Looks like Serrano, though, is a little bit behind there. She's really going to have some work cut out on the bike.
As they put their heads down and they start this 4-kilometre bike ride. It's all
Big
about
crowd in now, you can see. Packed house, 2,000 strong, and we say the Arena Games Triathlon is powered by Zwift. We're about to enter the wonderful world of Zwift and go to Crit City, where they're going to be on 2 laps of the 2-kilometre course, and it is very, very tough, this one. Absolutely no room for error, have to get up to speed very quickly.
That was a 2:11 swim there from Cassandra, so she's starting where she left off with that 2:10 this morning. Very, very consistent. Olivia Mathis was second out the water, 2:15. Bragmeier, 2:16. They were right on her tail, but that is some swimming, that really is.
Beaugrand and Matthias out the front, 1 second between them, another 1.5 back to Bragmeier and Potter, Lynn. And at the back, Gita Serino, 13.4 seconds in arrears. She is our winner from Montreal and an early favourite to take the title. She's behind the 15-year-old Fanny Zalai as Emma Jackson overtakes Rani Strabanja. And Lauren, you spend any time in Zwift? It's always a beautiful day in Zwift. Look, and it must be nice for you, those of you who live in the UK, day in, day out, to get some sun.
I'm pretty sure it's always raining when I'm on Zwift, so I think it's just wherever you are in the world, Zwift seems to find you and it gives you the same weather. No, Zwift is incredible, and I actually do a lot of my training, at least 3 or 4 times a week on there. I find it a good training tool in that you can get your head down, you can get your numbers up, you can do what you need to do to push the power, and I think many of these girls will have used it as a tool, so they're pretty good at holding their powers and knowing what they need to do, especially on the courses as well. They're pushing
Beth
some
Potter
incredible
has overtaken Janet Bragmeier there. Yeah, no, they absolutely are. They're all in the just sub 300 watts in the first of these 2 laps, and Beth Potter knows that she can't let Cassandra Beaugrand get up the road. Many people thinking that this is going to be a race in 2 between those 2 incredibly accomplished athletes, and I don't think we're going to get much argument from us either, but Matthias, Bragmeier, Lynn, Jackson, etc., all in the mix for the world title as well.
And Olivia's got great crowd support here. There's Welsh flags all over the place. And she's doing what she said in her interview. She said there's no tactics for her. It's going out fast, going out hard, and hanging on. 5 watts a kilo, 180 beats per minute. She is riding exceptionally today.
So the swim record set by Cassandra Beaugrand in the heats was 2:10. No one's ever swum, or no woman's ever swum faster than that in the Arena Games. She picked up 2:11 in that one to Mathias' 2:15. As we said, if Beth Potter or the others want to catch Cassandra, they'd be looking to want to do it on the bike, although Cassandra has certainly held her own in this one. Still the gap back to Potter, 1.8 seconds. But Cassandra Beaugrand, not only the fastest swim time in the heats, also the fastest run time with a 2:56, whereas Beth Potter's best with a 3:03. So we'll see what happens when we get on to the run in just a second. 17 seconds now covering the top 10, and Kurakova, she's dropped right back and all by herself, although we should mention that there is no drafting in this version of Arena Games. We've had double draft before, we've had single draft, we have no draft now whatsoever, which means that Arena Games is won by the person with the best athletic capacity. So for Olivia Mathias, sitting there in the shadow of Cassandra Beaugrand is making no difference whatsoever to how hard it is out there for Mathias. So everyone out there on their own merits.
Really looks like Gina's going to have her work cut out. She's 11 seconds adrift from the lead, and she's really got to keep her head in the game here because there's world title up for stake. But it's still early days there, and she does have a very good run with that college background.
She is also pushing an exceptional amount of wattage there at 5 watts per kilo.
You can see the pain faces there from the women on the screen. Olivia's out the saddle, Cassandra's leaning one way, Beth looks out like she's out the saddle as well. Different styles, different techniques there, but they're all going exceptionally fast.
I think as well, Tim, we're sat here sweating. It's exceptionally hot in here, so these girls are battling with the heat as well.
That's right, the humidity is unbearable, and I'm just sat here talking.
Harden up, Tim. You can do better. You used to be an elite athlete, as I recall. Vaguely. 600 metres to go now. Potter has erased that gap, and her and Beaugrand are stuck together like glue, with Sophie Lynn having a good second half of this bike as they head through the park, which is a sneaky little up and down. So a few rollers there. Got to decide whether to stay in the same gear or to shift down as you go up and down over these little hills before they make the U-turn back onto the straight and the end, or the last 200 metres of this 4-kilometre bike. And we'll be straight on to the self-powered treadmills for the run in stage 1, and then the clock will start ticking for stage 2. So you finish back in the pack, less time to recover, and things just get harder and harder.
Emma Jackson's having a great ride. She was in the repechage this morning, so she's already raced. Beth makes sure she got out in front of Sophie there. Got those shoulders out, shoes on quickly, one shoe then the other. Let's see who gets these treadmills up to speed. Look at Beth Potter, already hands off the grail, running in full speed. She's going to put some time into people. All about transitions, Will.
Gina Serino is well back. She hopped on the same time as Fanny Zalai. She is a collegiate runner, though, Serino. We've seen some incredible runs from her, and I think when you look at that run form, you can see exactly why she is considered one of the great runners in triathlon, but probably the greatest, or the two greatest at the moment, over short course at least, is Beth Potter and Cassandra Beaugrand, and they are not wasting any time whatsoever in this 1-kilometre run. Potter now 3 seconds clear of Beaugrand, and then Lynn from Mathias, Jackson, Skrabanja and Brugmeyer, and now we're seeing the times really start to balloon out as Potter's running a 19.5 kilometres an hour, quicker than anyone else out there except for Fanny Zalai, who's running, well, nearly 20 k's an hour and has moved into 7th. What an incredible effort from this 15-year-old.
So great to see her, how fearless she is. I mean, she had to do the repechage. She had to turn around, not qualifying yesterday, having finished 3rd in Sursee. And the way she pumped her fist and she qualified, I think she was absolutely over the moon there.
Definitely. I mean, what an incredible, like, it's a world stage to come out on at 15. I mean, I was that age, but she's running exceptionally fast, at 19 kilometers an hour. That's phenomenal running from her.
We can see Beth Potter there. She's pulled out her 5-second lead over Cassandra Beaugrand. Her heart rate's 182 beats. She is really working hard. And I know that they're going straight into another run, 500 meters to go, or 450, but they're really pulling away from Sophie.
Tim, is there a technique that's best suited for the treadmills?
I believe there is. I think you need to land really quite far forward on a treadmill. It's not, contact time is normally the less is the better, the fastest. Definitely with these, you need to put your foot down and drag it through. And I think, as we said, Beth's had 5 races, 2 firsts and 3 seconds, and Cassandra's won here. They know how to run well on these treadmills.
It definitely looks very painful, but you can see that Beth's cadence is exceptionally high as well, getting the turnover.
She's still pulling away, 19.3 kilometers an hour. She really is running fantastic there.
6 seconds, and there are our 3, at the moment, leading championship protagonists. Outside of Potter and Beaugrand, these 3, Sophie Lynn in the green, Olivia Mathias in the pink, and Janet Bragmeyer in the white. Despite the fact that they are 4th, 7th and 9th right now, they are sitting pretty in this championship. Serena also in the mix as well, and it's going to come down to the wire. There is no doubt about that. And Fanny Zalai, meanwhile, has moved up into 5th position, set the 3 fastest run times in Sursee, and she continues to do so, but 60 metres to go, and Beth Potter has streeted absolutely everyone. And every one of those seconds will be important. She gets more time to recover, and also she banks that time for the Stage 3 Pursuit Start Final. She already has put 10 seconds into Beaugrand, and the 2022 Arena Games World Champion, hands on hips there, has done it again. And Beaugrand, looking at her back, is going to think, well, what do I do now in Stage 2?
I think Beth put a statement there. She really wanted to show Cassandra that she is the woman to beat here. London's her town.
Definitely is, and I think she took it in style. She looked in control. She didn't actually look like she was out of control there, and I think that Beth knows what she's doing. She's been here before. 2 more rounds to go, but I think that she is cool as a cucumber, just resetting her stuff there. Yeah, she looks like she's got this too.
That was a 2:53 run there from Beth. As we said, it's very hot and humid in here. It really is. I think she'll be looking at that advantage. Serena is setting up her bike there. She hasn't taken her shoes off because she's going to start the run. But again, Serena, I think she's been really struggling on that run, and we saw even on the swim. So let's hope she's having a calculated start. She really is, and saving some energy for the next round, or everything to play for.
Sophie, you know what this is all about. The toughest part is done. I'm going to walk with you. You've got to set up your swim. I'm going to walk with you. Listen, talk me through that one. It was tough. Cassandra took out that swim like it was an Olympic 100-metre final.
Yeah, for real. And I don't think that surprised anyone, to be honest. She's in form right now in the pool, or everything. So, yeah, she's racing phenomenally, but I'm just trying to focus on my race, what I can control, and round 1 I'm super happy with, and let's see what the rest of it holds.
Well, you're currently leading the World Championship race. How does that feel?
Oh, man, don't tell me that.
Oh, my gosh, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you. Tell us what your thoughts are on this incredible venue here in London.
It's amazing. Atmosphere is amazing. The people are amazing. Yeah, it's like, I love it. I hate it, but I love it.
Listen, we're going to let you go and set up. There's still a lot to play for. 2 rounds to go, Sophie. Good luck.
Cheers. You're
in for the World Championship title. Well, we're going to go.
Everyone's focusing on setting up.
Well, let's have a look at the story of the stage, and Sophie Lynn is, well, as Annie let the cat out of the bag, leading the championship title as it stands. But speaking of leading, Beaugrand did it out of the water, but she was caught up eventually in the bike. A good start, and along with Olivia Mathias, she did hold off the challengers for a good period of time, the pair of them pushing on together. But Beth Potter, well, there you go, split the two of them as they headed on to the second lap, and she was never headed from there. Only 2 minutes to go until we start again. Incredible run, 2:53. Imagine running a 2:53 kilometre on a treadmill that's self-powered, and then do it again twice. But let's have a look at the standings, and Beth Potter did it by 10.3 seconds in the end. That is a huge gap to the field going into the second stage, where normally the gaps get bigger with the run first up. Rani Scribanja, great finish to finish third from Sophie Lynn, who is your current championship leader as it stands. Fanny Zelaya ran from 8th to 5th. Gina Serino needs a better stage too, and Janet Bragmeyer really dropped off the back.
You can see there the athletes are getting ready. I think those times, well, they're normally what we see after 2 races.
Yeah.
Look at them, they look exhausted, just like we hoped. One stage to go, a pursuit start where all the hard work pays off and time lost to the leader is paid for. From there, first across the line wins the race. But who will be crowned the 2023 World Champion?
Beth looks very, very focused. She'll be thinking about the run. Cassandra knows she's got up against it. I think Cassandra's going to go out fast here, don't you?
I definitely think she's going to try and close that gap a little bit, give everything she's got. It's definitely tense.
Sophie Lynn will be nervous now. She knows she's got a world title on the line and she's leading it. It's maybe somewhere she didn't think she would be in after stage 1.
You know it's tense when Tim and Lauren are commentating like they're at a golf event. It's almost whispering because it seems so tense in the arena. And championship leader Lynn at the moment, as it stands, of course, she finished second, so she picked up 231 points from her round. And then at the moment, where she stands in the standings after stage 1, she is on top from Scribanja, Serino, Fanny Zelaya, and Olivia Mathias. Janet Bragmeyer, who picked up the full complement of points from her win in Sursee. She's well back because she finished at the bottom of stage 1, but there's plenty to go in this one. Lynn, the Australian, in the green. Beth Potter, having just run a 2:53 kilometre, is now mid-pack, running about 20 kilometres an hour, and Beaugrand, correct, has gone out very hard, but Fanny Zelaya is running with her, and as a 15-year-old, imagine being able to run alongside Cassandra Beaugrand on a stage as big as this.
I think Fanny there, she looks really calm, and Gina knows she's up against it. She's got to keep her head there, keep that speed. She's running well as well at 18.7 kilometres an hour. She's only lost 3 seconds so far, but there's a lot to play for. But it's so good to see Fanny. This is where she took the race to everyone in Sursee. She really attacked this second run. Her recovery was fantastic.
I think that's the most beautiful part, Tim, is that there is no pressure on her shoulders. She is just running, and running because she loves it, running because she knows she's strong. And I think for her, she can be super relaxed and race among these girls, and it's just going to give her an incredible confidence boost.
Cassandra there is in Crit City. She is streaking away. I think she really wants to right that run from before her and Beth Potter. There's a race within a race here to be the London champion. You can see how close they are, all lined up there. Again, they'll be watching the same screens we are. You can see the different styles there. We've got a very high arm carriage there from Sophie. And then Salah, she just looks like she's bouncing along. And these are the women that could really, really take away the world title here today.
Tim, I got a question. In the rearrangement and doing it in reverse order, is there tactics there? Do you think you have to approach it differently to a normal swim, bike, run?
I think you don't approach it differently, but definitely the swim being last can really take it out of you. And I know that some of the strongest swimmers relish this stage. Cassandra Beaugrand, being a very strong runner, but definitely on the swim. And then maybe someone like Sophie Lynn is really looking to get an advantage on the run. And you know, she will now have changed her mindset and be focusing on trying to win a world title.
So Beaugrand has gone some way to erasing the 10-second deficit that she leaked in stage 1. 3.8 seconds now ahead of Potter, but Potter has got into her stride as well. Serino having a much better run. Salai doing what we've already decided she does, even though we've only seen her once, and that is run her little heart out. And I have heard that Beth Potter has a potential mechanical on the bike as well. She's not going to know until she gets back on the bike whether she's going to be stuck in a single gear or not, because that was the issue during stage 1. So we're going to find out right now whether Beth Potter has got an issue on the bike or not, and the numbers are going to tell the story. She's certainly grinding those gears and up in the saddle, which is not what we're used to seeing. Normally, we start in or the athletes make sure they start in a easy gear to get up to speed quickly.
Well, again, she's had the quickest transition. She's taken the lead. Oh, she's 2 seconds down, sorry. But I think her power is very similar. I think it's on those rollers that she might suffer if she's stuck in a gear. But no, she looks good to me. I think she's not in a what we call a granny gear. Her legs aren't spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. She looks like she's calm and collective there. She really does.
Yeah, I think by the look on her face, it seems like everything seems to be okay. There is the Hungarian whose coach we heard from a little bit earlier on. I was excited to have her in there, and at the moment, in terms of Hungary's chances, Salai is well ahead of Brugmeier, who looked strong yesterday but has dropped right back again. She had another terrible, by her standards anyway, run, and she's 34 seconds back at this stage, which is extremely surprising. So no doubt we'll get to hear from her later on the telecast as to what has happened, because she is seeing a world title slip away at the other end. Potter has come back up to Beau Grant, and she's the only one, or was, in the yellow numbers of over 5 watts a kilo. So that run, a 250 from Beau Grant, which was special, has, well, the deficit's disappeared as they go up the cobblestones, which is the only real decent incline on Crit City. Sandra Beau Grant's making it look a lot easier than it looks when I do this bit, and a lot faster too.
Gina is really riding well. I think she was maybe not wanting to go all in. That swim we saw was quick. The bike was quick. I think she's back in the game. She's in 3rd spot here, and she's really, really taking it to Sophie to fight for that world title.
We spoke about tactics earlier, so perhaps that was what she was doing, was round 1. She was sort of finding her feet, getting in a bit of rhythm, and now she's actually holding her own. And she's holding really high wattage here as well. So.
Yeah, and you can see there on the screen the different styles, the pain faces. They're both really focused on that Zwift screen. They're all chasing Cassandra Beau Grant at the moment, and she has opened up a healthy lead on most of the field. She really has. Beth Potter's, though, holding her quite nicely. It's all who's got it in the swim. Can Cassandra undo the deficit from round 1?
A race in 2 in stage 2. The Frenchwoman and the Scot, Beau Grant and Potter, both protagonists in our championship series. Of course, that's coming up at the end of August and all the way through September and into October. The biggest Super League Triathlon Championship series yet, and it is going to be fantastic. We're going to see both these women do the job, and potentially, if we've seen time and time again that Arena Games racing is a gateway into the championship series, we're going to see some names that we see on that list below Beau Grant and Potter as well. I certainly hope so anyway, and Serino has managed to hold on to that 3rd position from Lynn and Scribanja, which is just a name that I enjoy saying, so I'm going to continue to say it throughout the next stage and a half. Kurakova, Salai, Matthias, Jackson and Brugmeier, and I'm just hearing in my ear that Gina Serino, well, just as she starts to get back into it, is going to pick up a penalty. So I'll get you more information on that as to exactly why and how much as soon as it comes to hand.
Well, at this stage of the game, when she's really, really coming to her own, that's not what she's going to want to hear. You can see here they're riding next to each other. They actually went to the same college in America and ran together, so they know each other quite well. To be battling here for a world title is definitely something that's very special. And I think, you know, Gina's a class swimmer, so she's really looking to hit that water, but we'll have to find out what that penalty was for and where they're going to give that to her.
I've heard that it's shoes outside the box, so everything's got to be inside the transition box. Her shoes are not inside the box, whether they went in and fell out or were placed incorrectly. She's going to be held for 5 seconds when she comes off the bike. Well, she gets a thumbs up there from somebody who's watching along and riding along in Zwift. But she is going to, well, look at the look on her face. It's almost like she knows it. But both championship protagonists, Serino will be held for 5 seconds heading into the second swim. And the second swim we've seen so many times is where the gaps really start to open up, because swimming under fatigue after 5 very fast stages, and great swimmers like Cassandra Beaugrand can really put the hammer down at that point.
And that could change the race right there. I wonder if Sophie knows that Gina's got that penalty. She's expecting to jump in the water with her, but she's going to have that advantage. Gina would have been told by now she just has to do as much power as possible to get away from Sophie, but Sophie is at the moment ahead of her. You wonder if Gina is thinking damage control or push, push, push. She's very calculated in her efforts. She really is.
Really tough to receive.
In the blue there is Rani Scribanja. Sorry, Lauren. In the blue there is Rani Scribanja, and we haven't talked about her as much as we should have, considering that she's currently sitting in 5th position. She's actually moved up to 2nd overall in the As It Stands championship race, and she's one of those athletes that doesn't have a win, won't do it for her, but potentially, if she finishes a couple of places above Lynn, she will be your world champion. And to go from 2020 racing an amateur race here to then becoming world champion 2023 would be a fantastic effort, and in a star-studded field. She's being held there, Serino, 5 seconds, longest 5 seconds in the world, not allowed to put the cap on. Now she does. Yep, putting the cap on is part of the race. You're out of the race, 5 seconds. Gina, into the water, off you go.
But Sophie then didn't capitalise on that. She ran past her lane and had to go backwards. There's Fanny Zalash. She's got her goggles on, her hair's out. She wants to hit that water and get those arms spinning. We can see here Cassandra is pulling away. Now, if Beth is smart, she'll come closer to Cassandra so she can get on that wake. As soon as just as long as her arms are in line with her feet, she's going to get a slight pull. But now it looks like Cassandra's, what I would say, going to the legs a little bit and really open up a gap. But she really needs to go. This is going to come down to the pursuit start. It really, really will in the final event. It's the second 100.
Beaugrand and Potter, 1 second between them. Of course, Beaugrand already has a 10-second gap to make up on Potter. So if they finish close to each other, Potter will take off for the third stage, which is back to swim, bike and run, with about a 9 or 10 second advantage, unless Beaugrand can have quite the swim at the back end. Lynn, your clubhouse leader at the moment, or your As It Stands leader for the world title, the Australian.
And Riani's moved up into 2nd, so Gina's got someone to chase, and Olivia Mathis is having a fantastic swim. She's actually catching Gina, and it looks like she's going to go past her any moment now. These times are all going to add up for the pursuit start. And again, you can see there Cassandra, she's just edging away, but Beth is having a fantastic swim. She's really going to capitalise on that first round where she got that massive gap on her. You can see
Back end of stage 2, big gaps now. Beaugrand and Potter together. Lynn 12 seconds back, but leading the World Championship As It Stands from Scribanja, Serino, Zalai, Matthias, Jackson, and then Potter and Bruckmeyer, who is having a tough day. But Beaugrand touches the wall. It's going to take about 4 seconds, or it's only 2 seconds out of Potter's lead. So Potter will have around an 8-second gap to start off the pursuit start in stage 3. Lynn touches the wall. She's having a very solid race, the Aussie. And now it's about getting ready for the last stage of Arena Games in 2023. Potter didn't look exhausted coming out of the pool just then. And it's always the toughest part of the toughest stage. Serino touches 30 seconds back. Matthias with a great swim. Jackson 35. So Lynn and Scribanja are your 2 world title contenders. And Mathias has jumped up in the potential standings as well.
You can see Bragmeier there.
Bragmeier, 56 seconds.
I think last year Sophie had that breakthrough race at the Commonwealth Games, getting a team medal and an individual 5th. Since then, she's just really improved. She's based in Denver, so she's dropped down from altitude, and she is looking really, really good for this last race.
Not long now, we start stage 3 here at Arena Games London.
Oh, Cassandra, what a fantastic second stage, but you still have time to make up on Beth Potter. How are you going to do that?
I think it will just be a mental, because everyone is tired at this stage, so yeah, I will just focus on myself and try my best with what I have left.
Cassandra, what is it about London? Because you always excel here. You won here last year.
Oh yeah, I really enjoy the UK crowd, so yeah, hopefully it will smile to me today.
Can you say that again?
I said UK crowd is amazing, so I hope it will smile to me again.
Great stuff. Well, we're going to let Cassandra carry on setting her bike up. And over here we have Beth Potter, who is absolutely flying. Beth, how are you feeling?
Oh, pretty tired now, to be honest. Yeah, it's hard work. She's pushing me all the way, so just going to try and stay close to her.
You know how it's done here. You have won in Singapore. What's it like to be in London, though? It is absolutely magical, isn't it?
Yeah, the crowd's great. So last one, just got to 10 more minutes of pain and then it's done.
Good luck.
Always a tough job doing the interviews, so well done to Annie there, and thank you to our athletes who take the time to give us just a little bit of insight when they've only got a couple of minutes to get ready again. And we'll go back down to Annie right now.
Rani, what an incredible race you are having here in London. You are setting second at the moment in the World Championship race.
Yeah, I'm surprising myself, especially because I raced this morning in the repechage. So I was just trying to have fun, and it's going better than I expected, so I'm really, really happy.
Just tell me, in a quick few words, what do you think of here, the crowd and London?
It's amazing. The crowd's fantastic, and there's so much atmosphere here. I'm really enjoying myself.
Good luck for the last stage.
Let's have a look at how it all played out. Of course, the reverse triathlon in stage 2, run, bike and swim, and in the purple and yellow were Cassandra Beaugrand and Beth Potter, who are two of the great runners, and there was a potential thought of a mechanical for Beth Potter, but she looked okay on the bike. It was potentially stuck in a gear for a little part of stage 1, but everything okay in stage 2, and then it was a swim off between the pair of them, and Beaugrand took out a couple of seconds of Potter's lead in the end. So I think at this stage, Beth Potter will start stage 3 with a 7-second lead. Here are the results from stage 1 and stage 2. Beth Potter, how about that? 11:59, 11:59. Beaugrand went faster in stage 2, as did Lynn as well. And then Scribanja Mathias also went a bit quicker in stage 2. Sereno Jackson, but down the bottom, Janet Bragmeier, 12:33, 12:53. And she is well back from the 23:58 of Beth Potter. So it's going to be a really interesting race between Potter and Beaugrand, and then of course a race between the rest as well for the world title in just about 10 minutes time.
Look at them, they look exhausted, just like we hoped. One stage to go, a pursuit start where all the hard work pays off and time lost to the leader is paid for. From there, first across the line wins the race. But who will be crowned the 2023 World Champion?
It all leads to this moment, and at the moment, Sophie Lynn, the 27-year-old Aussie, has the world title in her grasp. She is looking good for the overall right now. She had a good second placing in the rounds, and then arrives here with a nice gap over Scribanja, who will need to finish, we think, 2 places ahead of Lynn to steal the world title from her. Mathias can also do the job, but she's 54 seconds back on Potter. Sereno 56. Bragmeier's basically out of the race at 1:28 as well. Zelai's over a minute. So Lynn is the person they're all looking at, but of course, it's Beth Potter versus Cassandra Beaugrand for the win. Here we go, 7 seconds, longest 7 seconds in Cassandra Beaugrand's life, because there goes your 2022 and reigning world champion Beth Potter into the water. And Beaugrand comes next, 7 seconds, and then a gap back to Lynn. And look at the turnover rate on Beaugrand. She wants this one.
Sophie Lynn looks poised and ready to go. She's just focusing about the next thing, 200 metres. Seems like forever, waiting for that red light to turn green, and it's gone. Now she can't go out too hard. She can't get carried away.
What a long, horrible wait that was for Lynn. She'll know, though, that the two women in front of her are not in the mix for the world title, and we think Scribanja will need to catch Beaugrand and pass her in order to steal it from Lynn. And there's Lynn, you can see second from top. And down the bottom here is Potter in the yellow, Beaugrand in the purple. Into the water goes Gina Serino, your winner from Montreal. Her partner Chase McQueen, also he's in the mix for the men's world title in about half an hour's time. So the racing does not stop coming here at Arena Games Triathlon, powered by Zwift London, as they turn again at the 100 mark, and Potter in a 1:07, and she's only lost 3 seconds to Beaugrand, so a good swim from Beth Potter, who only came to triathlon in 2017, having already been an elite runner, gone to the Commonwealth Games. She moved in with Johnny Brownlee up in Leeds, spent a year living with Johnny, learning all she could, became European champion, and continues to go from strength to strength in multisport off the back of it, what was known as an incredible run. Now she's just an incredible all-round triathlete. His Potter came down late from the north of England, brought her dog with her as well. You'll see that on Super League Triathlon's social media channels to learn a bit more about this incredible Scot.
Beth Potter was actually at the Rio Olympics, and she was on the Coco Cabana watching the women's race, and that's when she decided that she was going to give triathlon a go. And all these years later, at the London Olympic pool, she is leading the race, but Cassandra has not let her out of her sights. Transition's going to be everything here to get that advantage. Hat and goggles in the box.
Beth Potter at home. That's right. Have to make sure you get everything correct. Goggles and hat in the box for Beaugrand. Potter, of course, home race. Kind of a home race for Beaugrand as well. She's moved to the UK, has a UK partner, trains in Loughborough. And there are the pair of them. And at this stage, Lauren, give me your prediction. 4 seconds between these two. No time in pursuit left. Who wins it?
Oh, I definitely think that when you're chasing from behind, you have that extra sense of energy than the one that's trying to stay ahead. So I definitely think the gap will close. But then you get to the run and third round in. Oh, it's so tough. Tim, thoughts?
Yeah, I think that they'll be giving everything now. It's a race against each other. They're actually riding next to each other. So I'm not sure which way it's going to go, but there's Sophie Lynn, who is leading the World Championship. This is something, maybe a position she could have only dreamed of a couple of days ago, but she has earned that quite well.
And a huge 2022, Sophie Lynn, as we said, picked up a Commonwealth Games bronze medal mixed team relay, 5th in the individual as well, won the Oceania Cup race as well on the Gold Coast. And she is having quite the time and could be a world champion very, very soon. Over 5 watts a kilo, 30 seconds ahead, and she's 12 seconds ahead of Rani Scribanja, who is her nemesis in this race in terms of the world title, and Matthias as well. But at the front, 8.4 seconds. Potter has put time into Beaugrand. Beaugrand looks like she's losing a little bit, but she knows she's probably got, she may have the run, although Potter's runs have been excellent as well. So the best run so far, 250 from Beaugrand, 253 Potter, but it's 8.5 seconds at the moment.
This is where Cassandra really needs to stay focused, because you never know what can happen. Everyone's hitting fatigue here. You can see on their faces how hard they're having to work, and still with that 1 kilometre to go, well, they've still got 2.8 kilometres to go on the bike, but the gap is getting bigger. It really, in fact, Sophie Lynn is slowly closing up to Cassandra. I don't think she'll catch her, but she's really, really fighting for a world title there.
Yeah, I definitely think that Beth is in control here, and she'll just continue to extend her lead so that when she gets onto that run, she can run relaxed. But Cassandra's digging deep. She's still at 4.7. She is pushing. But you've got to be hitting more. You've got to be, yeah, well, she's lifted it again. You've got to close the gap. She's got to go, you know, harder and stronger than what Beth is doing. And that'll be a very, very tough thing to do, especially in this heat. And she's probably exhausted.
I'm so impressed with Riani. She raced the repechage this morning, so she was raced 2 extra races above the Sophie Lynn, who she's fighting for a world title. But she's come here with absolutely no fear, and she is just absolutely having a sensational race. And Sophie Lynn, though, is pulling away. She really is.
Really can't underestimate how important it is to not do the repechage, to do that heat, get in automatic qualifier spot for the heat and not have to come back in the morning, do the repechage. But Scribanja has had to do that, so full credit to her at over 300 watts. But maybe not getting through and Sophie Lynn getting through might have been the difference between winning a world title and just missing out because of the fatigue that's built up over having to do a heat, come back in the morning. So this morning here in London and do the repechage, and then again turn around in the late afternoon and race for the world title. And Scribanja is probably feeling it at the back end, although you heard her, she said she's looking, well, she was surprising herself with how well she's doing, and I mean, what more can you ask for than that?
And I think Olivia Mathis has still got a chance to finish on that second step on the podium because of her fantastic race in Switzerland 3 weeks ago. So she needs to keep ahead of Gina. She needs those vital points. There is a world title up for grabs. I'm sure she's done all her calculations, and she's got that home support. As we said, there are Welsh flags everywhere, and she really is looking really good at the moment.
With every metre that goes past under the virtual wheels here in Crit City, Sophie Lynn gets closer and closer to a world title. Matthias, as you said, Tim has moved her way up into potential second place ahead of Scribanja by the virtue of the fact that she's currently in 6th. And if she can hold off Sereno, who's only a couple of seconds back, she can pick up the second as up the cobblestones and standing in the saddle goes Lynn at about 270 watts and a heart rate of 184 beats a minute, which is basically hospital for me, but it's okay for Sophie.
And there's races within races here.
She does look so in control, doesn't she?
If Olivia gets caught and overtaken by Gina, then that's going to help Riani get second in the World Championship. So there's everything to play for. They really need to keep pushing. You can see Olivia, she's out the saddle, head down, doesn't need to look where she's going. She's not going to crash. She just needs to have maximum power. 300 metres to go. I think Beth Potter and Cassandra really putting on a masterclass of Arena Games racing here.
Yeah, Cassandra Beaugrand, she dropped off about 4 seconds at the start of this bike, but she hasn't dropped any further than that in the second lap. So she looked like she could have been letting it slip away earlier on, but she's held it strong at about 8 to 9 seconds. So there's a 1 kilometre run left. Let's see what Beth Potter has. She just looks so good. Her transitions have been the best out of anyone out there. The shoes go on, and no problem whatsoever. 1 kilometre between Beth Potter and yet another top 2 finish. Make that 6 in a row. Never finished outside of the top 2 in any Arena Games race. She was pipped by Janet Bragmeyer in Singapore last year, but still picked up the world title. She struggled in the heat. It's hot here in London in the Aquatic Centre, but not enough to stop Beth Potter from probably running away with this. And there is your potential world champion, Sophie Lynn, who will take the mantle from Beth Potter, and she'll do it with a solid performance throughout the 3 rounds. She, of course, attended in Switzerland, picked up a second position, and that's enough to hold off Scribanja there in the blue and Matthias in the pink.
You could see there when Beth ran to her treadmill, she had such urgency. Here's Olivia. She really needs to keep going. I'm sure she knows what position she is, and hot on her heels is Gina. She's really turned this around, hasn't she, from that first round?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's incredible that you get a penalty, and that can make or break you. You can either respond to it in a positive way, or you can think, you know what, this might be game over, but she's there. She's hungry. She wants it. And has Olivia got it in her to hold her off? Thoughts, Tim? Can she do it?
Oh, it's so close at the moment. There's seconds in it. Olivia just needs to focus on that avatar. Don't worry about what's at stake. Just one foot in front of the other. Drive those arms. Really, really, really focus on running as fast as she can.
12 seconds the gap between Potter and Beaugrand halfway through the run. Lynn still holding off, 18 seconds. Will have to be a serious issue if she's not going to be your world title winner. Scribanja still in fourth. Matthias has lost out to Serino by 3 seconds, so she could slip out of second and to third in the World Championship. And Rani Scribanja, from racing as an amateur in the very first Arena Games 3 years ago, could end up second overall, and she will thank Gina Serino for a superb run, if that is indeed what happened. 400 metres to go now. Potter extending her lead over Cassandra Beaugrand, and Beth Potter, fourth win in Arena Games out of 6, 2 seconds as well, and she is just made for this sport.
Such an impressive display here. You know, she came down quite late. She said she had a bit of fatigue in her body. She did half a threshold set on Wednesday before she arrived on Thursday, so she was saving something, but she is absolutely having a season, just improving. We saw that in the Super League season last year, and she's going from strength to strength. She knows she's won now. She can hear the crowd rising. 200 metres to go with a 15-second gap. She is just looking untouchable.
She is, and to know that she's taken it with all of those things that you said, Tim, is a great feeling. She's worked hard. All of these girls have pushed themselves to the max.
Great run from Gina Serino. Matthias hanging on the back. Zalai 120 back. Kurakova, and then Brackmeyer. Well, we'll hear from her after the race. She's been struggling. See Max Stapley in the background there cheering on the women. He missed out on the final, the super swimmer, but Beth Potter, she puts her fist in the air and she knows she has won again. She has done it in London, and she's done it in front of a packed 2,000 strong home crowd who have enjoyed a fantastic race between Potter, who's given it all, and Beaugrand, who in the end knew she was done. She's 20 seconds in arrears. Beth Potter, congratulations. And congratulations as well to that woman, Sophie Lynn, who in a second will be crowned your world champion of Arena Games. Serino in the red has pipped Scribanja, so Matthias will likely finish third overall from Scribanja, and a smile for Lynn. She knows that she's your world champion.
What a performance. She won it there on the bike. She got the fastest bike split in every single round. Oh, look at that. Oh, she's in a whole world of pain, and it's
passing on the torch. Sorry, it's good to see the world champion from last year hand over to the world champion from this year, and when her heart rate goes below 250, she'll appreciate it a little bit more. Serino looks fresh. I don't know how she's managing that. Scribanja on the floor, and it is so good to see how deep these women push. Congratulations.
Beth, congratulations. That was a brilliant display.
Thank you. Yeah, that was very hard, but thank you everyone for cheering me on. That really helped me in the last little bit, getting me over the line. So great crowd, London.
You wouldn't have heard the commentators saying that you have won 4 races out of 6 and 2 second place finishes. What is it about the Arena Games that makes you so good and bring out the absolute best in yourself as an athlete?
I don't know, I just like this kind of training almost, because I do this a lot of, in my training program, but I've actually never beaten Cassandra in this, so she was really tough competition today. So that's the biggest win for me.
Could you have imagined coming here this morning that you would beat her by just under 20 seconds?
Oh, I really pushed the end there. But no, she's incredible at swimming and definitely running. So I knew that was going to be tough. But I held tight and just stuck in and gave it everything.
I think the crowd will be interested in your psyche. What goes on in your mind when you're racing in the virtual world and you've got to push yourself so hard with any athletes around? Cheers there for the last athlete finishing.
I don't know, I just kind of zone out and just look at my little avatar and just try and make sure the gaff is going out.
Congratulations, you are the winner here today, Beth Potter.
Well, what a race that was, and that cheer was for Janet Bragmeyer, who came here with hopes of a world title and finished over 2 minutes behind. So difficult times for her, but I think based on the numbers that we're getting into the moment, that Gina Serino's run at the back end there might have put her up into second place. We will tell you in a moment, but we'll go back to Annie now with Cassandra Beaugrand.
Congratulations, Cassandra, second here today. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, it was a tough race. I think I missed a bit of fresh air. Like I was a bit tired coming here, so maybe yesterday was. Yeah, I think I was a bit tired after yesterday. So I tried my best to catch the gap, but it was not enough for today. So maybe another time. And I was very happy to race here anyway.
Congratulations, Cassandra, on your second place finish here in London.
Thank you.
Let's look back at how it all shook out in the money stage. Stage 3, Beth Potter have a 7-second advantage going into the water. It was slightly less coming out of the water. Straight onto the bike went Potter, and that was the point at which she really put the hammer down and made sure that she had control of this race. Potter was never headed during that bike, and her transitions, as they have been throughout this entire afternoon, were perfect. And when you give Beth Potter an advantage in coming into a run, you do not get that advantage back. Fists in the air for Potter. She won the race, and Sophie Lynn won the world title. There is the former and now current world champion. Official race results, 22.4 seconds in the end between Potter and Beaugrand. When you beat Cassandra Beaugrand, that's always a big moment. Beth Potter never done that. She said that. Sophie Lynn was 42 seconds back. Scribanja over a minute. Jackson Serino, who overtook Mathias and really bumped herself up in the world title. Salai, Kurakova and Bragmeyer.
Oh, Jeanette, this is difficult for me, but it's even harder for you. Just tell us what happened.
Yeah, it was not my day. So I did a mistake on the first transition on the run because I left my gel in my shoes. So I have to take out, and then I just lose a couple of seconds. And then I just, I don't know, I felt like all my muscle was in a cramp. So I can't really push if I was on the knife edge. So when I just push a little bit more, my hamstring was in a cramp. So I need to like pull back, and after I just try push it again, but it was like the same. I don't know what's happened. I felt really good yesterday during the week, so I was really motivated. I really want the title, but yeah, bad day.
Jeanette, I just want to say we have seen you race brilliantly here. This hasn't put you off though, has it? You will be back to race Arena Games.
Yeah, it was awesome, the atmosphere and everything, so yeah, I'm sure I will come back. And I congratulate everyone who is in the final because they really deserved. Yeah.
Congratulations, you've been a champion for us anyway.
Well, it is time for the medal ceremony, and this is for the race overall, which means we are going to see both Potter and Beaugrand take the top 2 steps, and we'll see and confirm the women's overall championship standings in just a second. But what a beautiful sight that is. Incredible arena here in London, and absolutely custom made for the Arena Games. And where else in the world can you sit in one of the great stadiums and watch an entire swim, bike and run and not miss a single minute? That was the entire purpose of Arena Games when it was created. and it now is one of the great esports viewing opportunities.
The crowd there are taking a rest themselves.
The crowd in getting ready for the men's, which is coming up very, very soon. And we thought about, Tim, that it being a Cassandra Beaugrand and Beth Potter show. It did turn out that way, but I can tell you that I probably didn't pick Sophie Lynn to come through in the end and win the world title. And I think she may have done it from Gina Serino, who ran away to second over Scribanja with Jackson as well. But Beaugrand and Potter just a step above the rest. Handing out the race medals, the presentation from Bernard St. Jean, World Triathlon Executive Board member, and Sophie Lynn, well, she's in a minute, she's going to be on the top step, but she picks up the bronze medal for third in the race here in London. Beaugrand, who has an affinity with London, won in the Championship Series in the very first round last September. And, of course, won Arena Games Triathlon London 2022 as well. Picks up another podium, but she does it behind that woman, Beth Potter, who just keeps going from strength to strength, both in her career and in her Arena Games career. Congratulations to all three of those women who have been just too strong, especially Beaugrand and Potter in this race, but Lynn as well in the overall, who had plenty of quality chasing her, and Arena Games takes another evolution. And we see athletes almost becoming specialists in this discipline, and we saw Potter, or we heard Potter talking about exactly that. Training for this specifically and enjoying this style of training, and we're seeing athletes younger and younger. Basically, if you're 27 to 30, you're getting to be too old for Arena Games racing, which makes me feel ridiculous. And there is your confirmed championship standings. Sophie Lynn, in the end, does it by 70 points. Serino ran her way back to second in the overall, pipping Rani Scribanja, who finishes on the World Championship podium, and only 15 points ahead of Emma Jackson. Olivia Mathias in the end, finishing fifth. Fanny Zalai is in your top 6 in the World Championship standings. Beth Potter picks up the 500 from London, moves herself to 7th. But that top 6, full of quality athletes who have done what is required over the 2 races. And Sophie Lynn, in the end, is your overall Arena Games world title winner.
What a stunning performance. What does it feel like to be on the World Championship podium?
I'm amazed by myself. I didn't expect it at all, so I'm really happy to be here.
And the Arena Games and this whole arena here, what has it meant to you?
I think it's so amazing, and the crowd's fantastic, so yeah.
So I think you will be back to race Arena Games next year, won't you, after your podium finish here?
I will try. I hope it fits in my schedule, but I'm really happy and it's very exciting.
Thank you so much. Oh, Gina, that was a close shave. You had a little mishap, didn't you, in the first stage?
Yeah, a lot more mistakes than I was hoping. Such a cool atmosphere. The crowd was amazing, and yeah, even though there were little parts I was unhappy with, it was an awesome experience.
What does it take to keep your head on when everything's going slightly against you?
I think just keeping your focus, not letting, I don't know, the mistakes compound and snowball.
Congratulations, Gina. Very proud of you to be on the podium here in London.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Sophie, I thought I had jinxed it there. I really did. But you are the world champion. How does that feel?
It feels really good. When you told me that, I was like, oh shit, I wasn't actually really thinking about the overall as much. Yeah, you didn't jinx it, and it feels great.
Just how tough is racing Arena Games?
It's next level. You know, it's like you have to make peace with the fact you're going to be in a lot of pain. Yeah, it's super hard.
Congratulations, Sophie Lynn, you are the world champion.
Time for the medal ceremony. We should apologise for that language, but she's Australian and so am I, so that's what you get. Time for our world champion to be crowned and to hand out the medals. The chairman and co-founder of Super League Triathlon to the right of your screen right now, Leonid Boguslavsky, and your 3 championship protagonists throughout the back end, especially of this race. There is Mr. Boguslavsky, who has been the driving force behind Super League and, of course, now the partnership with World Triathlon. Over the past 6 years now, Super League has been going, and congratulations to Rani Skrabanja, who has really trodden the pathway with Super League and come through the ranks to now become a World Championship podium getter. Gina Serino, your winner from Montreal, who showed great composure to come back from some errors which can be really fatal in this type of racing when it is so short and sharp, but kept her head and ran her way to second place behind the Aussie Sophie Lynn. Congratulations to Sophie Lynn, big smile, and Annie nearly let the cat out of the bag, told her she was in the lead after stage 1. Could have jinxed her, didn't though, Lynn was too strong. Brings a tear to the eye of the Australian anthem after years and years of hearing Tim Don and Annie Emerson talk about how good British triathlon is, and Aussie is on the top step of the podium. It's of course been plenty of racing here over the course of the time, including the para events. Tim takes us through it.
The first wave there with 4 categories in it: 300 metres swim, 10 kilometres bike and a 2 kilometres run. I'm here with Lauren Steadman, Paralympic gold medalist, and we had some healthy sibling rivalry there, didn't we, with the McComb sisters?
Definitely. Those two were at the Commonwealth last year, got second, Chloe did, and Judith got fourth, so there was always going to be healthy competition there. But it was a race that was fully packed. We saw Colin in there take the win as well. That was fantastic. Marta from Spain, she just stormed it. So some great, great swimming.
And do you think they've been training specifically for this event? Because it's very much a development event at the moment as well in the para categories.
Definitely. It's great that actually the development athletes are out here, they're racing. It's putting para triathlon up there. They get international racing, and to race at the Arena Games in London at the London Aquatic Centre. I mean, come on, what a stage.
It's an experience. It's a real mix of the development, but we also have some experience in there. In the second wave, we had the current world champion as well racing.
We did. We had Grace Norman, and I race her. She is current world champion. She's storming away. We saw her win by just over 2.5 minutes there, I think. But then in the PTS 5 men, that was a really good race. Tom took it the whole way, and then we saw Cadero, the Brazilian, come back at the end with the run. We obviously had Hector and Ollie, Oscar Kelly win. It was really great. That was a battle as well. He's never beaten him, so it was a close one there. So we saw some great racing today.
And this is the start of the season for them. They'll be continuing this year, hopefully taking advantage of this and really, really upping their game.
Definitely. First kind of races, our season kicks off very, very soon. We've got Europeans, we've got Swansea, which is a great race. Then we've got the European Championships, we've got the Paris Test event qualification open soon, and we've got the World Championships in Pontevedra.
It's just so great to see so many world-class athletes here racing in such a hard format that, I think the future's really, really bright for the Arena Games and the para categories.
That it is. That it is.
That is absolutely correct. So good to see 2 waves of para races, 8 in all here in London, and be incredibly well supported. And what a quality array of para athletes we have had today and before here at the Arena Games, and certainly is the destination for just about everyone here in London.
Welcome to London Aquatic Centre in Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park.
Bring it on.
So happy to come back here in London.
So many friends living here, so I hope they can come in and support me in the final.
Arms crossed. It's amazing to be back. Really special to be here. It's a beautiful city. It's buzzing, so happy to be here. Boom! Arena Games is in town. Watch out, London. Here we come. It's going to be a great race. Let's absolutely raise the roof, and it's going to be mad. It's going to be sick.
Come in the water. It's lovely.
What better place to have the final of Arena Games, the home of Super League Triathlon. Only 10 minutes until the men's get underway. There's 60 athletes have arrived here to take part. Only 20 make it through to the final. Some of those faces you just saw, well, they'll be watching from the stands. This is what's happened in the season thus far in Montreal and Sursee for the men.
Somebody asked me what I could describe the Arena Games in one word. Then I think it's just savage.
Look at the face on that man. It's like a rainbow of pain.
Going into Montreal, I was super excited to kick off the season. You know, with 4 or 5 weeks since off season, I didn't really know where the fitness was at. So there were definitely some nerves with that. It's such a fast race that anything can happen, and I was confident, but you know, Henry was right there the whole time, and he was right on my heels. I never felt safe. The biggest competitor for me personally is probably Henry.
And here they go, America versus South Africa, McQueen versus Schoeman.
Montreal was my first race this year off the back of a very long injury. So to be able to get second behind Chase, I was really ecstatic, but it still left me like wanting more. I try to implement a few more strategies into my race in Sursee. You just got to be really on it. You've got to be fast, your transitions have to be there, and I think that's why I came away with the win.
What a race it has been.
Chase is absolutely one of my biggest threats. I mean, he beat me in Montreal. I've done a bit of homework. I know maybe where to put that power when I need it, and you know, if I sharpen up just a few seconds, maybe I can take him.
So McQueen wins in round 1 in Montreal. Schoeman wins in round 2 in Sursee. Maxime Huber-Moosbrugger as well had a great race. He has his own, his destiny in his own hands, as does Westerman and Strata. So the top 5 can all win with a win. Fabio Musin as well is in this final. So all of those men are big contenders for this one. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how this one shakes out. There is McQueen backstage, looking very focused. He will have watched Gina, his partner, finish second overall. He'll want one more than that. Let's have a look back at how the heats played out yesterday and who made it through and who missed out.
In Heat 1, Strada surprised everyone and beat Chase McQueen. The question is, was Chase McQueen saving something for the final? That extra 1% energy could be what it takes to be world champion. Strada says the level of performance here is crazy, but he will be looking for that repeat performance to stand on the top step.
The field is crazy here, and yeah, I will try my best, but it's gonna be pretty difficult.
Heat 2 had the surprise package. It was always going to be fast with such depth. Kyle Smith took the win. No one saw that coming. Henry Schumann was comfortably in second. He did enough. He did what was needed to make it through to the final. Was he keeping his cards close to his chest? I think so. Simon Westerman used the crowd in Sursee to his advantage to finish on the podium. The crowd in London will be even louder.
I just was in a positive mental state today, and yeah, got out pretty quickly, I think, in the water and felt sharp from the beginning. That was my goal, to warm up and to be ready as much as I can, and I think I delivered that today.
In Heat 3, Simon and Maxime were a cut above the rest. They came out the first swim and powered away from everyone. They were really saving their energy for the final, and they are waiting for the crowd to lift them, potentially, maybe, to a world title. Maxime had one of the fastest runs here in London. He'll be looking to repeat that again in the final.
To be honest, I will just focus on my race, have a good swim to be with the field, and really give everything until I blow up or maybe be world champion.
Right, hello. Now here we have some very important parents. Chase McQueen. So we've got Neil and Matt as well, haven't we?
Yep.
Matt and Neil, I got it the wrong way around, sorry. How nerve-wracking is it watching your son race?
It's pretty nerve-wracking because there's no control. But it's fun. It's exciting. Chase is confident. He'll do well.
What do you think of Arena Games?
I love Arena Games. This is just amazing. The crowds are great. It's just so much fun to watch. So exciting.
Both Arena Games and Super League are just so intense and so quick and fast. It's awesome. We love it.
Here we go again. Arena Games time. 3 stages, short, sharp, and really, really hard. Stage 1, 200 metres in the pool, followed by a 4-kilometre bike and a 1-kilometre run, both on Zwift. More virtual, equally painful. No drafting, just to test that pure athletic capacity. Quick break and go again, backwards. Another run on the self-powered treadmill, another ride on the Tax Turbo Trainer. Then get back in the pool, the final stage, back to swim, bike, run. But with a pursuit start, paying back time lost to the leader. First across the line, they take the win. Who will be crowned the 2023 World Champion?
There is one race left in the 2023 Arena Games Triathlon season, and they are about to walk out. We're seeing shots from backstage. There is Kyle Smith, Chase McQueen, Henry Schumann. We'll hear from all of them in just a second, but the first man to lead us out will be Gustav Eden. Very relaxed does Chase McQueen look. Just heard from his parents, and McQueen has his destiny in his own hands. So does Schumann. There's the cameraman bottom of screen, which means Gustav Eden is about to come out and join us. The Ironman world champion now are looking to come back to short course and make Paris 2024. And he had a 5-second penalty, did Eden, for turning up late to the athlete briefing. Didn't stop him from scraping in through the repechage to the final. Lots of eyes on him. Johannes Vogel, the German, multiple World Triathlon Championship Series experience, the 26-year-old. And from Switzerland in the pink, that is Fabian Mussen, the 25-year-old who finished 5th in Sursee. And we see it time and time again, swimmers do the job in Arena Games. He's a former international level swimmer before he came to triathlon. Jeremy Briand in the black, the Canadian, 2019 Canadian national champion, big biker. Watch for him on the bike. Twice he has finished 8th in the finals of Arena Games. We'll be looking to better that at the very least. Simon Westerman said he was feeling positive yesterday. Looks positive today. Third at Sursee at home. Lives in Sursee. 24 years of age. And love this guy, Maxime Huber-Moosbrugger, French national champion. Just gives great interviews. He's very happy to be here. Pair of top fours in Arena Games Triathlon. In the purple and rushing out onto the pool deck, the Italian Nicolo Strada, who was third here in London in 2022 and fourth in Montreal. And in lane 6, the Kiwi, Kyle Smith, coming back from long course to short course, looking for Paris. Here's what he had to say prior.
Henry's such a good swimmer that I can't let him get too far and get too much confidence, you know, like I've got to keep him there on a nice little carrot. So yeah, I've just got to send it from the start and then hopefully just keep within contact in the swim and then put my swim bike down.
Just got to send it. That's basically what all Kiwis say before every race all the time. Chase McQueen, the American, winner in Sursee. Winner in Montreal, supreme.
Fearless. I got to be fearless, that's all. You know, if I get the best out of myself, I can live with the results, but no fear, just got to go for it.
He shaved off that little goatee too, just to get the extra little bit of aerodynamics, and Henry Schoeman has had a horror 2021-2022, on fire this year.
It would mean so much. I mean, you know, coming back from the injury last year, just putting myself in a position to be world champion is just, I can't explain how good it will feel, but I'm just going to focus on what needs to be done, focus on the process, and yeah, just give it everything I got in the present.
.45 seconds, everyone on the pool deck, and they are being left waiting. Here is your lane allocation. Johannes Vogel at one end, Gustav Eden at the other end, the Ironman world champion. In the middle, look for Henry Schoeman in the green to have a great swim. McQueen has to have a good start, and Kyle Smith has been a big surprise packet as well. About 10 seconds to go, and a big swim important already. The swim record was broken yesterday at 2:01, clean into the water, and it'll be a very fast 50. McQueen in the yellow, a great start early on. Schoeman in the green, lane 3, top of screen.
I think the thing with Henry here is he's not going to go full gas in the first race. He's definitely someone who builds into it and he saves some energy. I think Chase, as you can see, he is leading. It looks so good underwater. They're turning in 28 to the feet as well, 28 low. But they're all lined up. The swim pedigree here has really risen. This Arena Games is really, really raising the bar.
Westerman smart there. He was right on the lane rope in the first 50. Off the back of McQueen's feet, he's just got such a beautiful stroke, Chase McQueen. Good to watch, Lauren.
It is. I love a swim stroke like that. He's got the glide going. He's maximising the distance per stroke. He's cruised through that first lap. 200's always a difficult distance to do. Do you go super, super hard or do you back end it? But these guys, like, he's leading the way there. But there's a lineup of them all there. They can see each other as they're breathing, so they'll know what they're doing. Stroke rates increasing a little bit for Henry Schoeman there. He's actually holding his place, Tim.
Henry's looking really good there. He knows he can't let this world title go away, but the Italian as well is swimming very well. Strada, there's nothing in it. It's all about transitions, marginal games. The small details make a big difference in this format. Kyle Smith.
Strada had a very good third 50, and down the bottom of your screen, Gustav Eden is starting to leak serious time. 9 seconds now, happened in the heats as well. But he came out of the water last in the heats, ended up finishing the first bike in 5th, so he's got a huge bike, we know that. He's got to touch the Lionel Sanders about him in terms of what happened in Montreal. Out of the water last, biked his way back into it. There he is, bottom of screen right now. McQueen, though, is too strong, comes out of the water. The super swimmer McQueen in just a tick under a 2:05. Strada right with him. Great swim from the Italian. Scuman there too. Houston and Westerman. Kyle Smith 4 seconds back. Not bad for a long course athlete. Huber Moosbrugger is a bit off. Vogel, Brian and Eden 13 seconds back.
Kyle Smith there, I think, had a great swim. He was a lot closer than he has been in the rounds yesterday. And here, as he said, full send, and the bike is where he excels. He had the fastest bike yesterday. Let's see what he can do here.
We love an underdog, don't we, Tim? We love that chase. We love them coming through. But they're all on the bike now, all digging deep, fresh at the moment, but it's going to get painful soon.
Eden 13.7 seconds back, and he has had quite the trip here. He was late to the athlete briefing because of a delayed flight. He got a 5-second penalty. He had to go to the repechage, and he made it in just. This is what he had to say earlier.
Yeah, it's my first Arena Games, so I had to use yesterday to learn a bit. And I felt like I learned quite a lot because on today's repechage I raced a bit smarter, so it's apparently possible to race with the brain also in short course. You don't have to go all out from the start. So the last run I was enjoying it a bit more than yesterday.
Eden and also Christian Blumenfeld looking to do what basically no one has done. Plenty of people go from short course to long course and have success, as Blumenfeld obviously did with the Olympic gold medal and then the Ironman world title. And then later on last year, Eden picks up his Ironman world title, but it's very hard to go in the opposite direction, and Eden and Blumenfeld are finding that. But if anyone can do it, it's the Norwegians and their method. Strada, though, he's leading everyone at the moment. McQueen and Smith has moved up. He's a great biker too. Scuman dropping down to 4th position.
The gaps are so tight with the top four, only two and a half seconds separating them. You can see Henry, remember, he's a patient man when it comes to this. But there's Nicolo Strider. He is just pushing on 5.5 watts a kilo, and he is just going all in. I think he's taken a leaf out of Carl's book, and he is full sending it early.
Nearly a second now between Strada and McQueen. McQueen took the full 250 championship points from his win in Montreal. Strada finished a few back in Sursee. He's got 198, so he doesn't have his destiny in his own hands. McQueen and Scuman do, though. Kyle Smith is not in the overall title chase, but he's very much in the chase for this race. Huber Moosbrugger is also right in it, as is Fabian Musen. So it's going to be a really interesting one between these men.
Nicolo's just looking around there. He looks like he's out for a Sunday bike ride, a coffee shop ride. He really does, pushing 5.3 watts a kilo. You can see, though, Henry is rocking and rolling already. You know, he's got those cheeks are red. It's hot in here. Chase there. Look at those eyes. Those focused on that screen. He's looking at everyone else's numbers as well. Oh, he's having a look round as well. I wonder again if these athletes are just saving something. We've got Gustav Eden at the back, but he's holding. He hasn't dropped a second since he's hit the bike. I think they're so similarly matched. It really, really is going to be tight. I think the second half we'll see Kyle Smith come through as well.
Yeah, definitely. You said that he was quickest. Was it quickest on the bike yesterday, Tim? Like that's incredible. So he knows that he's got it in him. Oh, yep, and he's moved up. He's closing that gap on Strada. It's tough. It's really tough, especially. Oh, yeah, we can see him there. Carl is, well, 483 watts. Heart rate is through the roof.
Casual 480 watts out the saddle, first race, as you do. That's what full send looks like in the Arena Games, but he is not leading yet. He's still chasing Nicolo Strada, 450 watts himself. It really is amazing the power that these athletes put out. And don't forget, they've just swum under 2:05 for 200 metres long course.
And they know they've got another 2 rounds to go. I mean,
it's actually not even relatable, is it? It's not even relatable numbers to a normal human person. Like, looking around at 400 watts, having swum a sub 205. It's just, it's insane numbers. Just go and try it for yourself. If you're thinking, like, what are these numbers? Are they good? Go and swim 200 meters and then jump on a bike and see what happens. It's not the same, okay? It's just not. Strata, 400 watts at the moment, heart rate 175. Kyle Smith topping out at 182. He's on his way back to Paris if he can get there, and he certainly is going to bank some points from this one as they go through the rollers. They're going to turn right, although there is no turning on Zwift, just pure power. Their avatars will turn right, which means we're at the end of the bike, and Strata has had a very good time. He's off the bike. Schoeman out of the shoes, getting ready. There goes Strata. Smith as well right behind him. McQueen and Schoeman will hop off two together. They've been stuck together throughout the last 6 weeks of Arena Games racing.
Chase is up to speed there. Henry talked about improving and learning, doing Montreal and Sursees, helping him set himself up here, but he hasn't beat Chase McQueen. They've raced once, and it was 1 to America, 0 to South Africa, and Chase is doing exactly the same again. He's pulling away from Henry.
So, those who are in complete control of their destiny for the world title, that man on screen, Henry Schoeman, if he wins this race, he wins the World Championship. Chase McQueen, same deal. If he wins this race, he wins overall. Huber Moosbrugger and Simon Westerman are also in that boat. Nicolo Strada needs other results to go his way. Kyle Smith didn't do a round, so he won't win the world title. And Vogel, Briant also need all sorts of results to go their way. What's Chase McQueen doing? Why is he having fun? We're not meant to be having fun.
What is he doing?
We're meant to be absolutely working hard.
But he is losing ground.
I don't know.
Tactics, Tim.
Get your head back in the game, son. Get your head back in the game.
Well, he's looking at Henry Schoeman and going, okay, I'm 6 seconds back. That's okay. Strada needs help. Kyle Smith's not in it, and Huber Moosbrugger is another one who could do the job. But really, that 3rd to 6th are your championship contenders. And he looks like he's jogging for the bus, Chase.
I'm not sure you can say the 18 kilometers. Yeah, and Will, I think 18 kilometers an hour of running speed is not a jog to the bus.
He's going to go quicker than the bus.
Depends how late you are for the bus, Lauren.
Good point, very good point.
You can see that pack swelling behind them.
He's making it look easy.
There's a group of athletes all within 6 seconds through 4th to 8th, so it's still everything to play for. This is the first race. The speeds they're running at. Gustav has moved up into 8th, and Simon Westerman, he's in 5th. And they really are biding time. 230 metres to go. I think the second run is always a telltale sign of who's got the legs, but definitely Henry Schoeman is looking very, very solid here. Chase McQueen's dropped 21 seconds here. I really hope he's feeling okay. Maybe shaving off that goatee was not the right thing to do.
Well, something's wrong with Chase McQueen, so we're going to follow that up. We'll get Annie out there on pool deck to find out exactly what's going on, but McQueen is dropping way back, and he is basically out of the championship race. He's smiling. There could be a problem. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but something has happened. Meanwhile, at the other end, Nicolo Strada has finished 3.5 seconds ahead of Kyle Smith. So we'll get Annie straight onto this, because Henry Schoeman will be looking over at Chase McQueen and going, what has happened to my championship nemesis?
Chase is still running. Every athlete is. See how calm he is. Let's see if he's focusing. He's walking the wrong way. He needs to set his bike up. He's going to an official. He's walking away from where he needs to
Michael
go.
Thompson. No, he's walking past him. I think that could be it for McQueen.
No, he's going to get back in the game.
Find out.
Horseshit. Absolute horseshit.
Nicola, you absolutely nailed that first stage and you look completely composed, but how does it really feel?
I'm feeling good, so good start of the first stage, and it will be hard to stay in the front.
Okay, you like London, you were third here last year. Can you stay on the podium?
Yeah, London, it's magic, and I will come back this year. Okay.
Congratulations on your first stage. Not a win, but a great start for the London event.
So Nicola Strada happy, Chase McQueen extremely unhappy. So there was a little bit of language there, so we apologise for that in the back of camera, and we're going to link down to Annie now to find out what's going on.
Chase, just tell us what's going on.
Yeah, not a good run, obviously. We'll see what I have the second 2 rounds.
How are you feeling, really? Because this is not the Chase that we've seen in previous races in Montreal or in the previous rounds here.
Honestly, unbelievably good sensations. It's a shame that the run's not there.
Okay, I'm going to walk with you. Listen, you still got 2 stages to go. Anything can happen, right? Oh, you've got some tough competitors in front of you.
Yeah, it's a great field. It's nice to be in London. This is where dreams are made of. I've loved the opportunity to race for Super League and can't wait for the next 2 rounds.
Okay, good luck.
Well, it's not...
All right, interesting interview there, and we're going to look back at how the whole stage played out, but Chase McQueen, a lot of work to do, and does not look happy. Started perfectly for the American, turned first and controlled that swim. He ended up coming out in a 2:04.50-ish and looked composed throughout, but some kind of an issue. He was pretty circumspect in what he let out of the emotions and into the microphone. Meanwhile, Nicola Strada took over up the cobblestones and wasn't headed from there. Ended up winning by 3.5 seconds. It was a good run from the Italian as well, and he needs to win this race and hope for the best. A wry smile from McQueen as he looks across the pool deck. Interesting to see what's going to actually happen next. Anyway, the results as they stand. McQueen nearly 30 seconds back. Strada and Smith at the top end. Schoeman in the box seat as it stands for the championship from Cuba Moosbrugger, the Frenchman, Briand, the Canadian, Vogel, who had a very good stage 1 from Simon Westerman, and Gustav Eden, who came last out of the water, moved up into 8th position from Fabian Musen.
Right, well that looked fun. Let's make them do it again, but in reverse order. Run, bike, swim. Look for the runners to make time as they start fresh on the treadmill. Well, a bit fresh. It can't be won here, but it can definitely be lost. Every second counts for the Stage 3 pursuit start.
So we've had swim and bike and run. Now, why don't we have run, bike, swim? Make him do it in reverse. Nicola Strada will look to put more time into his competitors. Of course, Stage 3 is a pursuit start, so every second lost to the leader in Stage 1 and 2 is paid for in Stage 3. Chase McQueen needs a huge run. We're getting underway. Stage 2 begins.
This will be interesting here. Chase needs to get back in the game. He saw with his partner, Gina, that she had her issues with a penalty and she still finished on the podium. It's not over. He needs to keep focused. His parents have flown all the way from the US of A, so he needs to get up there. Look at Gustav Eden, though. He is flying on the run, 21.9 kilometers an hour.
Well, we did say earlier, Tim, that it could be about tactics and that they wouldn't go out and give everything on that first round, and that it starts, the actual race starts from this round onwards.
Kyle Smith is charging at the front from Maxime Huber Moosbrugger, 21.1 k's an hour. Nearly 2 seconds up from Moosbrugger and Strada. Musen is there with Briand. Vogel and Eden, and only 2 seconds across the top 7. So in a group, a little bit back to Westerman, and Schoeman's had a tardy start as well, 4 seconds back. McQueen, well, McQueen's doing what happened, well, the same in stage 1. He's dropped off the back by 4 seconds. So whatever's happening with Chase McQueen, it is not helping his title chances, his race chances, or even finishing in the top 9 in this one. He's nearly 5 seconds back on the others. So he was pretty circumspect in that interview, didn't want to give too much away, but something's happening in the background with the American.
And the way Carl Smith is racing, he could actually really help Strada, you know, leapfrog Henry for a world title here as races within races. But at the moment, Carl Smith is having a great run. He's running with Jonas, and they've got a 1.5 second lead over Jeremy. So they really are pushing the pace, 21.4 kilometers an hour, and they've got 350 meters to run.
Henry Schoeman needs to get his skates on as he overtakes now Huber Moosbrugger, who's dropped back a couple of seconds in the last 200 metres. The 2 men in blue, though, out the front. Vogel, who, in terms of resumes or CVs, doesn't have the depth that some of the others do, the 26-year-old, but he's certainly enjoying a run out the front. At the moment is the German from Smith, who continues to impress over the short distance. He's in the middle left of your screen, the Kiwi. And down the bottom, Jeremy Briand, who has just been overtaken by Fabian Musen, who is having a great second half of this run. Smith drops back to the pack. Westerman, Eden's there as well. Briand.
And Vogel was in the repechage race this morning, and he had a fantastic run there again. So here he's off the treadmill first, 1 shoe in the box, 2 shoe in the box. He's having a great race. Come here under the radar, but you can see how close everyone is. They're all running to their bikes. It's all about putting that power on early. Gosh, you could throw a blanket over them, you really could.
All about trying to nail that full discipline and getting on the bike as quickly as possible. Smooth transitions are important here.
So already gaps from stage 1, and they're going to be added to with gaps from stage 2, and this is going to be a hard-fought race. Henry Schoeman has had injury after setback after injury throughout the COVID period. Of course, he was down in South Africa as well, which, as we remember, was basically red-carded as a nation. You weren't allowed to go anywhere for quite a long time if you're in South Africa. McQueen still trying hard, but it's not going his way. I'm not sure what is happening with Chase. But Schoeman knows he is right in this championship race now.
This is in the blue, Kyle Smith.
Vogel still out in the front, 1.2 seconds. Musen has overtaken Smith. Eden has overtaken Smith. So Gustav Eden is having a better second stage. And if you remember Lionel Sanders saying, if it was 5 stages, I just get better and better because these guys have got diesel engines. Well, Gustav Eden slightly the same. Expect him to get better and better across the course of the 3 stages, Tim.
Well, maybe that was Gustav's tactic. He wanted the 2 races this morning just to warm himself up. He definitely, he said he raced differently this morning, and it was much better tactics. And again, he's moved up into second. He really backs himself. This Norwegian method people talk about, their training philosophy and methodology, is really, really working here. But he's still got a long way to go. And that swim, when you're tired, is very, very hard, isn't it?
Definitely, and their legs right now will be screaming at them. And we mentioned it earlier, Tim, but the humidity and the heat in here is just exhausting. So you get to that swim, and it's probably a bit of a relief to dive in.
I've just heard Eden has a 5-second penalty for a shoe outside the box. So I'm not sure if we can confirm that, but that is not going to help his chances here. His second 5-second penalty of the weekend, and that has been confirmed by the head official. So before he jumps in the water, he will have to wait for 5 seconds. That is heartbreaking for him. It really is.
Well, so will Kyle Smith. So the men in second and third both had the same issue. 5-second penalties for shoes outside the box, just like what happened to Gina Serino. So Gustav Eden and Kyle Smith, well, if you added 5 seconds to where they are now, they'd be in 8th, 9th and 10th position. So dropping right down out of that group as Vogel overtaken by Eden, who's had a massive run. He's at 7 watts a kilo at 455 watts. is Gustav Iden.
This is one of the closest finals we've seen. The top 8 athletes within 4 seconds of each other. This is, you can see them lined out there on the screen. You can see Gustav's probably knows he has the penalty. Carl Smith is sending it with that pain face. 405 watts, 180 beats per minute. He is absolutely leaving nothing out there. Gustav out the saddle again. It really has moved on, this Arena Games. You know, the level, the power, it really is moving the benchmark.
Definitely is. It's the intensity that we're riding at here. These aren't small numbers. They're exceptionally high numbers. And these guys have still got another round to go, as we mentioned. But these watts are just, I don't, as you said earlier, Will, I don't think you really realise the watts you're putting out unless you go and try it.
Yeah, I don't recommend trying it unless you're willing to get significantly humbled by men of this calibre. And of course the women as well earlier on were putting out huge numbers too. But when you look at those, when you look at Smith and Eden are both going to take a 5-second penalty, and you look at the stage 1 times, Nicolo Strada really is the man who is in the box seat at the moment. Already picked up 4 seconds over Smith in the first stage. Smith takes a 5-second penalty, and Strada is sitting there in the purple right behind Gustav Iden, who also has a 5-second penalty. The closest man to Strada from stage 1 was Henry Skuman, and then Maxime Huber-Moosbrugger, who are in 7th and 9th position respectively. So looks like Nicolo Strada, if he can have a decent run, is going to be hard to beat or have a very good gap going into stage 3. Second time up the cobblestones, the right turn onto the back end of the course now. I've seen this course so many times, Tim, that I feel like I've actually been there. Like I've been there on holidays. I know where all the good shops are. I know where the best places to watch are from. Because it's just there's a good spot. See a big crowd in again. Same crowd as every other time, actually.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, they've got such commitment, the fans in Zwift. They really come out and cheer everyone on. And, you know, on a day like today, you know, when the sun's out, I hope they're slapping on their Factor 50 and a hat as well. It is interesting that in this high pressure...
Yeah, I don't see a lot of... There's not a lot of sun safety. Not a lot of sun safety going on. I don't see a single hat. Dear, oh dear.
350 metres to go, and Gustav Iden and Carl Smith, it's these small mistakes we talk about, they cost them big, they really do. And Strada had such a good swim in that first round, and he'll be looking to capitalise on that, and he'll be thinking, I need to put time between myself and Henry to fight for that world title, because the way it's looking, it's his to lose at the moment. That's an early call, though. It is an early call.
Look how composed Nicolo Strada looks. The Iceman is just heading out where you saw Kyle Smith's face before. He looked a little Jess Learmonty with the face that he had on, which is the face that I have in the pain cave 100% as well, where Strada looks like he's just doing it easy. But here, the swim in the second stage really separates the men from the boys, no doubt about it. Smith takes the 5 seconds. Eden has already had the 5 seconds. He goes in.
But Henry had
they are into the water again. A good swim here sets them up.
Henry had such a quick transition there. He's already coming up along Strada. I wonder if he's gone too early. Henry looks so good. He's got a high turnover. He's a smaller athlete, but look at his legs. You can see he's still got the energy to kick, while Strada's legs are lagging behind. Again, off the wall, we want a big push, a nice glide. Oh, look at that. Henry's work on the walls is fantastic. Within 50 metres, he's put a deficit of 4 seconds into a head-to-head. It's going to come down to the wire here with these two. Is Henry going to try and pull away? It will be interesting.
Yeah, Skuman's talked about the little 1%ers that he's learned through Montreal and Sursee. He's one of the
Hold on. Someone is doing butterfly. Chase McQueen is doing butterfly. What is he doing?
He has absolutely given up, Chase McQueen. He's doing butterfly. I'm not sure why, but...
Let's see if he can last the 200 metres. That would be impressive. This is something we haven't seen.
All sorts of things in Super League. One of the things we haven't seen is a butterfly in a race. We've seen men swim with their shoes on. We've seen all sorts of things. But that is something new from Lightning McQueen. And Strada has responded to Skuman's challenge in the second 100 metres. But we talk about 1%ers. I was talking about this with Skuman. He's one of the only men to have done both rounds. And just the things like turning off the wall but not turning into your own wake. So turning into the other side of your lane to make sure you're not pushing against the water coming towards you. And the two of them, Strada and Schoeman, are going head-to-head. Schoeman takes more points from his race win than Strada from his effort in the previous round.
Strada's picking up the pace to get maybe a second. I don't think it's worth it. At this stage, his heart rate, you want to be thinking about dropping it. You need to be thinking about your transitions, setting your bike up. But what a finish. These two are really going for it. And look at that, Henry is absolutely exhausted. Strada's out, he is ready. He is going to set his stuff up for the last round. Simon Westerman there had a fantastic swim.
Does Nicolo Strada have what it takes to steal this world title? He needs things to go his way, confirmation of what they are at the moment. But as it stands, Strada potentially could steal the world title from Schoeman. Westerman's there or thereabouts as well. And after 200 metres of butterfly, if you don't mind, Chase McQueen finishes to a big cheer.
Now well. Is he going to follow that up with another 200, or are there rules actually? Can he do butterfly? Is he going to do an IM next? He's obviously not injured.
Who knows?
He's running well, but he's got a smile on his face, so we like to see that.
Henry, talk us through the first two stages.
Yeah, I'm having a pretty tough time. Body's not feeling too great today, but I'm still in contention, and I'm just going to go and give it everything I got. Nicola is doing really well, so big ups to him.
Henry, but you know this kind of racing, and you know what it takes, and that it doesn't end here, that the last stage is the one that really counts.
Yeah, a lot can still change. There's still one more stage, so let's hope I can still build it up and keep it where I am.
What's the toughest part of the Arena Games racing, Henry?
Right now, this moment.
Just tell me one more thing as well. We had Chase McQueen, who was right in contention for the world title, but he's out of it. Did you expect to have the Italian chasing your heels?
Yeah, Nicola is still, he still has a shot at it, so I just want to make sure I'm on the podium, and hopefully I'll win the championship.
Thanks very much, Henry. Good luck for the last stage. We're just racing down here to the treadmill to catch up with Gustav. Gustav, what a performance you've put on for us. But you're having a tough time with these penalties. What are you doing?
I was so focused on getting to my bike. I didn't think about the shoes in the box because they were standing outside the box the whole day. So, yeah, I think all this, now I'm done 6 triathlons in 24 hours, so I'm getting a bit cooked.
A quick word. This is your first time racing Arena Games. What do you think?
The swim now was so bad. I'm not an elegant swimmer normally, but now I was, worse than elegant. It was terrible. So, yeah.
Not terrible at all. Good luck for the last stage.
6 triathlons in 24 hours. It would send anyone mad, and even does that to the Ironman world champion. And this is what stage 2 looked like, and how good was Vogel coming straight off after a 2:37 run, if you don't mind. And he started on the bike strong, and that's when things really got down to business. Eden would have a turn to the front. Kyle Smith was there or thereabouts, but both of those men would take a 5-second penalty. Nicolo Strada looks so composed, the Italian. Very, very impressed. 5 seconds for Eden. Butterfly for Chase McQueen. And a stage win for Strada over Schoeman, who needs one man between him and Schoeman to finish between them if he is going to win the world title. So 13 seconds. Well, his combined results there. Not in fact Montreal and Sursee, in fact is actually stage 1 and stage 2. Schoeman, Smith, Westerman and Vogel are your top 5. Eden only 10 seconds slower. Newson only 6 seconds slower. And Chase McQueen's running his own race out there at the moment. But just to confirm, Nicolo Strada, if he is to win the world title, needs someone to finish between him and Henry Schoeman. If Schoeman can finish second, he will win it all.
Look at them, they look exhausted, just like we hoped. One stage to go, a pursuit start where all the hard work pays off and time lost to the leader is paid for. From there, first across the line wins the race. But who will be crowned the 2023 World Champion?
Well, after 8 stages across 3 countries, we arrive with a pursuit start for the world title and for the grand final victory. 7 seconds as it was between Beth Potter and Cassandra Beaugrand. It is between Nicolo Strada and Henry Schoeman. Kyle Smith 20 seconds back, Westerman 25, Vogel 26, and Eden is within the 30 seconds as well. Let's go, Arena Games Racing is on. Last stage of the year, Strada in the water. Schoeman knows he needs to hold off the field, and if he does, he will be your world champion. One of the great swimmers in triathlon, Henry Schoeman. His brother's an Olympic swimmer as well, Rian. And the two of them are in the water with no one else but Kyle Smith in 13 seconds time. He's in the water now as well as the rest of the field goes flooding into the pool here at the London Aquatic Centre.
Henry here doesn't need to go too fast. He doesn't need to worry about what he's closed the second already, but he still needs to think about his bike and his run, because he doesn't need to win the race to be a world champion. So he has to have a measured effort and measured performance here. But he is looking really good. Great body position. And again, he has got the most experience in this year's series. He's the only athlete to race every single race. And he says he learns. He learns from everything he does, good and bad. And I think the third race is where he comes into his own.
Definitely. I think he's going to come back super, super strong. And I think he's going to be smart, Tim. I think he's going to be smart. Why would you give that up? You just need to stay ahead of the rest of the field. If your fight is not with Strada, then, I mean, if he can, I know he'll take it, because why wouldn't you? He is an athlete that, high caliber of an athlete, so he's going to do everything he can.
See, Kyle Smith is now 24 seconds adrift of Strada. Westerman there is closing him. That fight for the third spot on the podium is going to be so, so close that everything is to play for, because there's not just a world title, there's a silver and bronze medal and honours on the day.
Well, McQueen's gone back to doing freestyle again. There was a big cheer there in the background as he dived into the water. People waiting to see what was going to happen, but last I saw, he was freestyling his way up and down this amazing Olympic pool. 11 years since the gold medals were handed out here in London. And Strada has held Schoeman to the 7 seconds at the 150 and a 2:07.7 out of the water. Everything in the box, no mistakes. You can measure your efforts when you're in the lead. Strada looking for the race win, looking for a potential world championship win too, but not if Henry Schoeman has anything to do with it. Same gap going in as coming out, onto the bike, straight to the shoes, no mistake from Schoeman.
And Henry there, he glanced over his shoulder as he was running to his bike. He wants to look how far they've put into the athletes behind them. You've got Westerman there, who's really had a great swim, and also so has Vogel. These athletes are really, really on form today. They've come here maybe a bit fresher than Henry, and they're really taking their chances here.
Brilliant swim from the Swiss athlete to put himself up and into third. Absolutely, he's looking really, really strong.
Westerman currently, as it stands, if he finishes where he is now, he'll take the third step on the podium from Maxine Hubert-Moosbrugger. And McQueen will still be in the top 5 because he took the full points from Montreal as they're all onto the bike. And it's gone from 6 to 8.9 seconds between Strada and Schoeman. An important gap, though, is over 20 seconds back to Westerman from Vogel, Smith, Newson, Hubert-Moosbrugger. And Gustav Eden, who you'd think would almost come off this bike in the top 5, maybe the top 6. Briand also a very strong biker, and there are the championship protagonists. And how about Westerman gets 2 angles?
Strada there is looking strong. He really is putting the power down. He's building up to a 10-second lead. But I think Henry, he's a smart racer. He said he knows when to put the power down on the bike. It's not an even course. As beautiful as the city is, there are the rollers, and he knows it's on the flatter bits that he needs to ride harder, not the hills. He's really, really honed his skills in the Zwift world here in Crit City. 11 seconds, but he'll be looking back. All he needs to do is cross that line in second to go for the world title. But it's so good to see Strada repeat what he did last year in London and have such a great race.
Yeah, third that time around, and looking good for the very minimum that this time around, provided there is no major issues or tech issues. And Super League and Arena Games Triathlon, along with World Triathlon, have been doing so much work to make sure that little niggly tech issues with all of this technology that we're using all at once just works seamlessly, and it certainly seems to over the course of the 2023 season. 12.5 seconds now between Strada and Schoeman, and Strada's just continuing to announce himself as a force in this super short form racing.
Strada's riding there at over 400 watts. 92 revs, 82 revs per minute, so he's got a very low cadence. He's on those rollers as he leans into the corner. He really is growing in confidence throughout this series. He's going from strength to strength, and Henry's no slouch here. Carl Smith as well, 5.5 watts a kilo, but they're not gaining on those top two. They really are leading from the front.
They definitely are, and look, you can see the pain on their faces there. They are digging deep, the grimaces. Simon Westerman there, look, he's incredible. He's at 5 watts per kg. He's digging deep. The gap is moving there, Tim. And then we've got Henry Schumann on the left side of the screen. In the middle of the screen, we've got Strada. They are all up there. They are all pushing the power. Westerman just nipping over 6 watts per kg there.
And they've all got slightly different techniques there. You can see the rocking and the rolling in the middle. And you can see Westerman looks very, very still in his upper body. Henry's just undone his zip to give him some breathing space because he doesn't need to jump in the water again. He's thinking about everything. He's lost 15 seconds, but Carl Smith is coming through. He really is jumping up. So I think he'll be looking to really try and close Henry down, but the gap's just going to be too much.
I think so. It stayed at the 20 seconds. I don't think there's much that they can do. So, I mean, it's hot in here. It's humid. They are giving everything that they have got.
Carl Smith, though, is really
riding. Blanket
really.
over third through 8th. Look at that. .35 seconds, Kyle Smith. 45 seconds, Fabian Musen. Between third and 8th, there is a lot of World Triathlon points and prize money and potentially a World Championship podium between those 6 men. Meanwhile, out the front, holding strong, Nicolo Strada just looks so composed from the start of stage 1 all the way through here to the middle of stage 3. And Schoeman knows exactly what he has to do. And to start off his 2023 with a World Championship title would mean so much to the South African.
I think he'd be very emotional.
Lovely to see Kyle Smith too. Go on.
I think he'd be very emotional to be on the top step of the podium. He really has, since that Olympic bronze medal in Rio, behind Alistair Brownlee and Jonathan Brownlee. He's had a catalogue of misfortune. But here's Strada jumping off the bike. He looks good. He doesn't really have a pain face. He's just got that pan face. Again, he's still focusing. Transition quickly. Leans forward. Pulls up to speed. That's what he needs to do. The foot plant needs to be as far forward as possible. Henry's got his suit undone. He knows he doesn't need to go full gas. He needs to just run within himself, and there's a world title to be won. He's got 2 pairs of shoes there, so he can have a fresh pair for each race. It's the small things that make a big difference. Is that a smile I see from him there?
I definitely think that's a cheeky smile. I mean, why wouldn't you have that when you know you've got nearly a 20-second lead, 19-second lead? He's got to hold it, but he looks good to me, Tim. He looks really good.
He looked like he had a little grab of the hammy coming off the bike, did Henry, and I had the heart of the mouth for a second, but it seems to have had no problem. 750 metres to go for Strada, who has been commanding the Italian, who in Switzerland last year finished 4th, finished 3rd in London. That was a shock last year when he did that. The junior champion in 2018, so he's not that far out of the juniors. He's only 23 years of age as well, and finished 2nd in the Italian national champs for 2 years in a row, actually, coming into this. And now he is about to win the final. 500 metres to go, barring incident. Maybe his avatar will trip over, but outside of that, he should be fine as he runs his way to a very big win.
But Carl Smith there is really going for it. He is running a lot quicker than Henry and Nikolai at the front. And to him, he needs to get these points to get starts in the big races. Henry there has got that laser focus. His cheeks are nice and red. He's working hard. He's just thinking, I need to get through the last 400 metres and I will be world champion. Dare he think that? You can see though Simon Westermann, his cadence are up, his arms are going. He's in a battle there with Carl Smith, and Gustav Iden is chasing him as well.
I just don't think you can close in 350 metres. Can you close that gap? I don't think so. So I think he's got his game face on, and he's not going to let anything disturb the fact that he can take the world title. But it is a feeling, Tim. You know the feeling. He knows he's running to it. Be careful, but be humble and enjoy the moment.
Eden's got good pace too. He could run his way back, run his way into 4th position, which, considering he's leaked 10 seconds across the course of the weekend in penalties, and he's come down from altitude and from obviously over the course of the last 12 months, complete change in training. Not a bad effort if he can knock over Kyle Smith, who is putting in the hard yards as well. Westermann's gone over 20.5 kilometres, but Nicolo Strada with 100 metres to go will be your London champion, and Henry Schoeman with a little bit longer to go will be your world title winner. But how good has Nicolo Strada been? 50 metres to go now, he's jogging it in, and a big moment in the still emerging career of the Italian Nicolo Strada, who just looks pretty relaxed, really, doesn't he?
He looks very calm. I would be all over the place beating an Olympic medalist and winning my first Arena Games. I think Henry here, he is, as you said, just jogging it in. He knows he's going to be a world title. Look at that smile. What that means to him will sink in over the next few days. Right now, he's probably glad it's over.
Henry Schoeman is your World Championship winner. He finished 2nd in Montreal, he won in Sursee, finishes 2nd again, and that is enough for the South African to be a world champion. Well, what a race. Kyle Smith was excellent as well. He finished 3rd. And there is your race winner, looking very relaxed.
Kyle, if you've got a moment, your thoughts on the Arena Games. It's the first time racing them. What do you think?
Yeah, the Arena Games is in a wonderful format. I mean, look at the crowd here. It's electric. It's just incredible. Yeah, well done to Super League for putting this on. It's incredible. And yeah, that was a bit of a contrast to yesterday. I felt really, really strong and really in control yesterday, and today, oh man, I felt so flat. But yeah, I really, really wanted to be on that podium. And so I just dug it in. It's 200 metres to go. I put everything into it and managed to just put the podium, so I'm stoked with that.
You had Gustav chasing you hard, though. Did you see? Tell us what you can see up there on the screen.
Yeah, I must say that Gustav is super impressive to, get in here late, serve a 5-second penalty yesterday, and then, go through the repechage.
The best Ironman.
Naked and Ironman world champ by default.
And I mean, coming from where you've come from, you race lots of different distances. To come here and get 3rd is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, it was only, 5 months ago that I was lining up with Gustav at the Ironman World Champs. Went slightly better for him than it did for me, but yeah, it couldn't be further away from an Ironman. This is literally the polar opposite, and yeah, it hurts just as you could expect.
Massive congratulations, Carl. That was really impressive to watch. We're going to head over to hopefully Gustav Iden now, who's just catching his breath. Gustav, what a finish. I had my heart in my mouth. I thought you were going to go for third there after 2 penalties this weekend.
Yeah, I was so hard towards the end. I really noticed, like, between this our morning and evening session, I was so tired. So I'm actually quite impressed by how I recovered and did well in this final, because, oh my God, there's so many good athletes here.
Do you know what I'm so impressed with is your swim as well, because it's tough when it's your weakest discipline, because you need it so much in Arena Games.
Yeah, the swim is longer here than in a normal triathlon, also in a pool with no assistance from others. So, yeah, it's not in my favour, so I'm happy with how I performed today.
You've had your mum and dad here watching. I know they've had their heart in their mouths, but they've had to deal with a lot of stuff with you over the years, not least your World Championship victory in Kona. But I think they'll be proud of you with your fifth place finish. How do you feel about finishing fifth here?
Yeah, between the sessions there in the VIP area, we are like from the countryside. So for them being like in a VIP area in London, it's quite a big thing. So they gave me like the thumbs up between the sets here. So yeah, I think they're proud of me.
Do you know what, Gustav, we're really proud of you, and thank you so much for coming to put on such a brilliant show here in London, and congratulations for fifth place.
Thank you.
Well, this is how it shook out in the third, and it was 7 seconds between Strada and Skuman into the water, and he held strong, Strada, 6 seconds on the way out as well. So that really set up the Italian for being able to control his transitions, control his efforts, and measure his way through to what would be a breakthrough win in this format. Once he was onto the self-powered treadmill, there was no catching the Italian, and Henry Skuman knew exactly what he had to do. Kyle Smith, as we heard before, ran his way up into third. Gustav Iden ran his way up into fifth as well. And the tale of the numbers, 22.6 seconds in the end it was to Skuman, who was your world title winner, and Westerman and Eden super close to Smith, but he wanted to be on that podium, and we'll see him on the podium in just a few minutes' time. Vogel had a great start, faded in the end to 6th overall. Huber Moosbrugger just didn't have what he needed today. Fabian Musen, Jeremy Briand, and then Chase McQueen, due to something mysterious, finished 2.5 minutes back. And first of all is your race winners. So we'll see a couple of people up here twice. And to the right of your screen, Bernard St. Jean, Executive Board Member of World Triathlon, and he will be handing out the medals for the race winners, or your race podium getters. And here they are. Smith very happy to be on this podium. Skuman and Strada. So another Kiwi joins the ranks of Super League Triathlon podium getters, and it is Kyle Smith. Henry Skuman, the first of 2 podiums today. We'll see him on the top step in just a second. Congratulations to the 31-year-old. Another Arena Games podium. An imperious performance from the 23-year-old Nicolo Strada. Another chapter, Tim, in the books for Arena Games, and we're moving closer and closer to a situation where we have specialists like Strada who can come out and perform in this super short racing. As people tend to focus on it more and more, we're going to see more and more specialists as the standards go up and up.
Absolutely, and you know that the small things, as we saw, make big differences. It's the mistakes, it's knowing how to ride Crit City, use your power on the treadmills, and that swimming, as Gustav alluded to, is hard on your own. There's no feet to sit on, but then there's also no hustle and bustle, there's no elbows as you go around the boys, but without a doubt, Arena Games is coming into its own, and I think it's only going to grow from strength to strength there across all the races, and it will turn global.
Keeps going on our way to eventually being in the Olympics Games. I know there's an Olympic esports celebration and competition in Singapore coming up in the middle of the year as the Olympics moves more and more towards esports. And Henry Schoeman, when we look back, that was Sursee, an arena half the size, but no less loud. He did the job there. He'd come from second in Montreal and he wanted to race it again and take the full points. So he made the trip to Switzerland in the snow, and he did exactly what he came to do from Huber Moosbrugger and Simon Westerman, who was racing at home, and then arrives with his third Arena Games in 6 weeks, looking focused and delivering when he needed to, even with the wild cards of Chase McQueen, who he would have had one eye on dropping out, and Strada doing such a good job.
Simon, congratulations. You put together 2 brilliant races. That means you have won a bronze medal at the World Championships. What does that mean to you?
Oh, it means the world. I mean, again, so close in a sprint finish. And you can believe me, I'm working on my sprint in training every day. But Carl made me just go dizzy on the treadmill, and I'm so happy I could hang on to it. And it was actually a surprise. I didn't count on the overall podium, and I just gave it all. And when I heard it was third overall, I was just so relieved and so happy.
I guess you don't have a lot of time to think on the treadmill, do you, in the end?
I'm sorry?
You don't have a lot of time to think on the treadmill at the end?
No, I don't think so. You can just focus on technique and leave it all out there because there's no hiding. But I'm just so relieved. It was so hard. I'm glad I made it safely through the heats, but today wasn't really easier without the rapid charge, I guess.
How good were the crowd?
It was amazing. I mean, in Switzerland, I had the home advantage, but they were just great. Thank you all so much.
Congratulations. Nicola, well, we can add a silver medal in the World Championships to your victory here today. What does that mean to you?
For me, it's an honor to finish second overall and first day. I love the format, the indoor format, and yeah, I'm super happy.
You actually make it look easy, I have to say. You look a lot less tired than the rest of them. How do you do that?
I don't know. I was feeling super good today, and when you feel good, it's not easy, but yeah, easier.
How brilliant are the crowds and this incredible arena here in London?
Yeah, I love the public. They are amazing.
Congratulations, Nicole. You are the bronze medalist here in London at the Arena Games World Championships. Henry, you can add a gold medal World Championship title to your Commonwealth Games gold and your bronze Olympic gold. What does that mean after incredibly tough 2 years for you?
Oh, it's just so incredible. There's no words to describe it, you know. I just wanted to come back into racing, sharpen up the body with the Arena Games, and I fell in love with this kind of racing since Montreal. And I'm just so fortunate because you compete in such an amazing crowd, like here in London. You guys have been amazing. You really pushed us to our limits. And yeah, to Nicolas Strada, he was so strong today. Yeah, big ups to him. He's young, he's up and coming. And also Simon, really good in sursee and on the podium with the World Championship.
You said you had a tough time out there today, though. You weren't quite feeling at your best.
Yeah, from the get-go, I was just really cramping in my calves, and I just try to manage myself, manage my effort. I try to come back in the stage 2. I managed to get close to Strada, but it wasn't enough to overtake him, and yeah, I was just kind of racing for second. On the last run, I was just kind of trying to get to the end.
Henry Schoeman, you are the Arena Games 2023 World Champion. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Well, 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 Henry Schoeman wins it all, and they're not even dry from out of the water, and already we turn our attention to the Championship Series later on in the year, the best short course racing in the world. All coming up at the end of August. Cannot wait for that one. It is going to be absolutely huge, and it is time for our championship medal ceremony here at Arena Games Triathlon, the biggest Arena Games season so far, as we continue to grow this sport. The chairman of Super League Triathlon, Leonid Boguslavsky, is here to hand out the championship medals. He's presided over such growth in the sport, and now with this partnership with World Triathlon, Arena Games reaches new heights and crowns our second world champion. Third overall in the championship after a great effort at home in Sursee, and backing it up here today in a really packed middle of the field is Simon Westerman, the Swiss 24-year-old. Strada, our race winner today, and earning himself second overall in the World Championship. And your world champion, 2016 Olympic medalist from South Africa, Henry Schoeman. A big moment and a big start to 2023 for Schoeman, for Strada, and for Westerman. The South African national anthem for a South African champion, and that wraps up Arena Games Triathlon for 2023. We hope you've enjoyed the season. Don't forget to join us in August for the championship season. It's going to be absolutely huge. On behalf of Annie Emerson, Tim Don, Lauren Stedman, and myself, Will McCloy, that is all for now. We'll see you in August.